What is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're doing well today. Got a unusual mail call for you. Let's get into it. So these here are a pair of knives that I've already unboxed on the channel, and I had an issue with each one, which is probably the first time in a very long time that I've had that happen with Civivi. I just realized these are upside down. So I reached out, well, I returned both of those knives to the retailer that I bought them from, and I didn't realize that GP Knives got these in stock. And I always go to the same retailer because they kind of get it first, but I really like the folks over at GP Knives. They're linked down in the description, and I get a small kickback whenever you use my links. It really helps the channel. I can get more knives for content, and I can do giveaways like I did at 4000, where I gave away that Sprint Run Spyderco PM2, and I really appreciate that. So I just wanted to mention that and remind you guys. But let's talk about the knives that we're here to get into. So the Sentinel Strike is going to be the first one that we get into, and I wanted to do it this way because they already opened and inspected each of these knives and made sure that they were in really good shape for me, and I also got into them just to make sure. So they came like repackaged like they do when you get them new, and that is something that you can do. I wanted to kind of mention that in the comments, that in the comments, when you leave a note in the comment, they will check and inspect for anything that you ask for. So the original Sentinel Strike that I had was the stone washed with the gray handle and the black back spacer. And with the K110, I don't know why, I'm not super worried about corrosion. I've never had any D2 that I've had really get into any type of corrosion. But regardless, I thought I had ordered the black coated blade, just for a little extra peace of mind. And on this one, what was wrong with it is that the button wasn't operating correctly, and it was really lethargic, really easy to fail. So I wanted to go ahead and get it replaced. I returned it. The vendor said just to return it and reorder it. They don't exchange, so that's fine, no problem. So I went to GP Knives and I ordered this variant. And the detent and action, like I was able to easily fail the first one that I got. This one, the action is really good, both with the flipper and thumb studs, and with the reverse opening hole. And I mean, you could try to get into that hole for the thumb flick, but that's what the thumb studs are there for. And this is kind of what I wish Civivi would have done with the Vision R. I wish they would have either done a little fuller like the Chevalier next to the thumb studs, because I really like to use the thumb studs for the thumb stud opening and then the reverse hole for the reverse flick. And I just really like the aesthetic of this one. I don't know what it is about the black and the olive green or the drab green, but I really just like the way that this looks. And it is a really thin slicing knife too. I can't wait to get into the full review of this one for you all, and I'll do a takedown and everything. And if you're interested in skiffs for this, you know, I'll show those to you, but it just doesn't need it. The action is just ridiculous. But the first one, and the issue that I had, I mentioned it, the issue that I had with the last Civivi that I had was the Cogent, and it had button lock rock. Now, I didn't have button lock rock on the first Sentinel, but it was just, I don't know, it felt bound up, and it had no play. It felt really tight in the pivot, so I'm not quite sure what happened with that one, but I'm super happy to have this one in. I'm going to actually be carrying this tomorrow, and I'm really excited about it. I'm very happy with this variant. So let's get into this next one. So this one here is going to be my third one. It's crazy. So the first one that I had of this, and y'all probably know what it is if you watched, had lock stick. It was the Satin and JG10, and it had horrendous lock stick. I couldn't unlock the knife. And while I'm talking, I'm going to go ahead and bring this out. And it's no secret, it's the Vision. So the second one that I got, I went back and watched the video, and I realized that I didn't check it for lock rock until after I installed the skiffs. So I took the skiffs back out, because I really like this knife and I can see doing some mods and stuff to it. And I just think this is like the perfect variant of the Vision. But when I put this factory bearings back in, it had the lock rock, which to me means that it had to have been there the entire time. It wasn't because of the installs of the skiffs, and it wouldn't have made sense for it to develop lock rock with the skiffs. That's not what it's going to affect. It'd be centering, maybe how the side to side action feels on it, but this one here is perfect. Fires out, man, what a great sound. No side to side play, absolutely rock solid in the pivot. And I ordered this one from Justin over at White Mountain Knives. I ordered the Sentinel Strike from GP Knives, and he was really great because I had ordered the first one from him because I was going to get both colorways. I wanted to see what they were like and compare them and decide which one I was going to keep. And I really like the micarta, but I'm usually a satin finish guy on Nitro V 14C28N because I want that higher HRC. I'm not too worried about edge retention on D2 with a little bit of a lower HRC with the coating. You lose about 1 point of HRC coating when they have to reheat it to apply the coating that they put on these. With D2, it has such good edge retention, I don't worry about that, so I like the coating. But for Nitro V and 14C28N, I really don't like that. I'd rather have the higher HRC so the edge lasts longer. But it's not a big deal. You're just going to strop it a little sooner, and you may not even notice the difference. But I'm so glad to have this back. I was so excited about it, and I was disheartened that the first one I couldn't even disengage. Now this one has grab. I wouldn't even call it stick. Like you can feel it grabbing on the way out. Listen to those sounds. Man, it's just really, really well done. And Civivi does a great job with their micarta. I mean, what can I say? They just do a fantastic job. Well, I'm going to be doing the review. I'm just going to let the review that I did ride, because I really, I liked the knife, and I didn't realize until after I put the skiffs on that it had developed the lock rock. And this is just going to be an unboxing, and I didn't even realize it, but I almost have a very similar colorway going on with these two knives. I had no idea. I didn't even realize it. I'm hoping. I had to relocate the microphone a little bit. I pushed it back so you can kind of see the phone here is recording and the microphone's back here. I think the sound will be okay. I'm able to talk in a normal tone and it picks it up, and I think the audio is really good. But what do you think about these? Do you have them? Has anyone else had any issues? Everyone that I've talked to has had no issues. I feel like I just got really bad luck of the draw with the Vision, and I think I probably got the 1 in a million bad bunch for the Sentinel Strike, and probably the same thing for the Vision. I would think they've been doing this lock longer and more of them, so I think that's why I was really surprised at that. I'm not too surprised that the super lock, the tolerances have to be perfect for that to work correctly, and it probably had too much material on the sticky, and worse for me was the one where it was just a hint of lock rock, and I'd rather have the stick because I think the stick will wear down over time. The rock will get worse in my mind anyway. I hope not, but you know how it goes. I do have the jade and satin on the way, so what I'll probably do is when I get that in, I'll probably do its own review and just talk a little bit about that and the differences. What I was thinking in my mind was swapping the scales and the hardware over to the jade, and actually not the hardware, just the scales over to the jade, and then putting the jade over here and seeing what that looked like and how that came out and if I liked it or not. Now I'll share all that. But anyway, shout out to everyone out there that leaves the likes, comments, and is subscribed. Getting ready to do a live here in a little bit. I love you guys. I hope you have a fantastic week. I hope you come out tonight to hang out with me in the live. And until next time, peace.